In the case of
freaking weird.
ETA for transport, 10 minutes.
A podcast called Strangest Fruit.
You ready and rolling?
Strangest Fruit Podcast. Brian James in the house with my twin co-host, Didontae Farmer. We got a giant today in the world of recovery, in the world of rescue.
And literally.
Yeah, literally a giant with the 24-inch biceps.
Yeah, juggernauts. Juggernaut.
We got and a friend and a brother. First and foremost, Mike from all the way from New York, Pitbulls And Addicts. Thank you for joining us today, Mike.
Thank you for having me. Like I was telling Didontae a little earlier, it's kind of crazy that I've been on a mission to show the world that Pitbulls and Addicts are two misunderstood breeds for almost 6 years now, and I have yet to sit down and speak on a podcast. It's kind of crazy that in the world that we live in, running social media platforms, you have to speak for approval. You're not always speaking, the truth, or you have to try to keep everything where everybody could understand. But there's always the truth behind what comes with this mission. This mission is something that, it was a visionary dream to show the world what a drug addict could do with his life, and I do it, and I do it very well. But in order for me to be myself, I have to kind of be with men that understand me, or women that understand me, people that understand me. If you know anything about addicts, is that we are all the same, but we all have different mindsets. Some addicts will wake up and say that they can't do something because of what they're told, or what they see, or, their friend keeps on going back, and, you keep on putting yourself in the circle that everybody's just either going back to prison, going back to drugs, or just playing victim, and nobody's on the rise. And it took me a long time to realize that, as an addict, if I wanted to be the man that I wanted to be, that I have to do what I have to do. And what I had to do was I had to look myself in the mirror, and I needed to understand that I was the only one that dug myself into that grave, and I'm the only one that can get out of that grave. But on social media, like I said, everybody's a therapist. Everybody
Pop therapy.
Everybody understands an addict. Everybody will judge an addict. Everybody will be the first one to, praise a celebrity that goes and gets help, but be the first one to say that their friend's son is a junkie because, he's active addiction. And, they look at him, but then they look at a celebrity who's going to go get help, and they're retweeting him, and good for him, and they're proud of him. And then, you got the real problems and the people beside you that people no longer care about. And like I said, social media it twists this world upside down. So running a platform based upon Pitbulls and Addicts, and showing the world what I could personally do as an addict in recovery, that I said a couple of things almost 7 years ago to my father. Well, 7 years ago, I'm 7 years sober. I said a couple of things to my father that I stay true to. And the one thing that I did tell my father was that I was going to go from zero to hero, no matter what it took. And I had no clue on what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. But I just put my 10 toes on the ground, and I started walking. And like I said, I faced a very tough journey because I wanted to show people that junkie could rise. I was done. I was done with that life. That life almost got the best of me. Fortunately, it was right before the epidemic, right before the pills and everything got really, really bad.
Damn.
And,
Whoa. See. You done went in too heavy. You got to save that. Like I said, you gave the world a good carrot right there.
Well, that's why we got the editor over here.
No. See, you gave the world a good carrot. You saved the world a good carrot, but we want to go to the beginning.
To the beginning.
We want to go because
you want to know how.
When I look at you and I see the old pictures of him, what he reminds me of? Iron Man. I mean, not Iron Man. What's the Captain America? Remember Captain America first joined the army? He was a little, itty little dude. That something happened and he came out that thing just the biggest. He's just a all-American. What everybody wanted to be like, impenetrable. He was that perfect image. You look at the pictures of Mike, the before, and you look at him now. You like, all right,
Yeah, I mean, okay, we got you know,
I want to
self-made.
go back to the kid.
Yeah, successful. You didn't just arrive here.
Yeah, you know, you pull up in here with the New York accent and all that. You know, we want to go to Baby Mike, yo.
Yeah, you know how it all started?
Yeah. How did take us back? Tell us. I mean,
because this is all the formula. This is the formula. You're already at the recipe. We want to know what all that went into this, the good and the bad, into this stew of what you've become and who you've become in life. So this is, you know, we got to get to that first.
Yeah,
Well,
and we're speaking to the young Mikes, the young Bryans, the young Didontaes of the world, though, that haven't gone through the process like we have. So take us.
So what
back.
I could tell you is that I'm definitely somebody that I shouldn't have been the person that I've become. You know, I realized that in life, there's a lot of people out there that are born with less opportunity. You know, especially dealing with the people that I deal with. I deal with drug addicts and drug addicts' families, and you know, people that have been defeated and broken people. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm broken. I'm a broken man, even though, you know, like, am I repairing myself? Yeah, I'm repairing myself, but I'll forever be broken. Like things in life that shattered me. You know, at the end of the day, I shouldn't have been the man that I became, but you know, I was born and raised in Staten Island, New York. My father was a narcotics detective.
What?
Ironic.
You know, I'm
I'm
unfamiliar. I've never even been on a plane, brother. So all I see is what I see on New York. You know, right now they got an artist out there talking about she real aggressive. She talking about don't come to New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what's going on? Like
Well, New York has changed. Like I said, if I wasn't so invested into what I have and I could pick up and come, I would be out here in California. New York has changed. It's not the same that it used to be. You know, like I know there's a lot of people out there that will say like, you know, fuck the police and they judge because of a badge. And I'll tell you right now, there's good cops and there's bad cops.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I grew up with a narcotics detective, with a group of cops that actually wanted to serve the community. Like my father and his group were the ones who put together the clothing drive for the kids in the projects and made sure that the kids had, you know, decent sneakers on and tried to like, help these kids while trying to keep the streets safe. But, you know, when it came down to my father's pride and joy was taking guns off the street and stopping those kilos. My father was the first man in on a drug raid. I remember I growing up, I wanted to be my father, you know, just like every man, every baby boy that has a dad, chances are he's going to want to be like you. And, you know, I'm approaching 40 years old and I came out here to like really reflect on my life. Like it's a new decade coming. Like now I have to be a man and I have no choice. And, you know, like I'm ready and willing to accept it the same way that I changed my life around. But, you know, growing up, I was supposed to, you know, probably be like a sanitation. You know, I went to sanitation after I didn't get any degree. I had no choice. You have to have a college degree to get certain city jobs.
What did you want to be? What growing up? Did you want to follow?
Growing up, I wanted
footsteps?
to follow my father's footsteps, and then you know I did like work with my hands. At 4 years old, my father gave me a 4x4, a box of nails, and a hammer, and I used to sit in the basement and I used to smack nails. I'd be hitting my fucking thumb and saying, my father used to hit his thumb and say shit, and I'd be sitting there and I'd be hitting my thumb and I'd be dead, but I'm talking about for hours. And then my family used to always give me pipe works where you put the, you know, I don't know, old school pipe works. If you remember, it was like all these like parts and you could make things. And I used to make all this crazy shit with pipe works, like connecting pipes to make things. And, you know, but more like I wanted to be like my dad. My dad was my everything.
And that's what they say. Every child either is trying to either live up to their dad's expectations or right their dad's wrongs. So, yeah.
My father was like my father was a father, and you know, like I'm very fortunate that I was raised by that man. And to be honest with you, like I said, I got lost for many years of my life, and I could finally tell you that I'm definitely the man that my father was trying to raise. You know,
Amen.
My father took pride in raising a child, and again, that's why I always tell, like, even though I'm not a dad, like I still, you know, like I honor good parents. Like I am fortunate enough that, you know, like no matter what I've been through and everything that I personally did to myself, it was not because of my parents. My parents were always there for a phone call. My parents never turned their back on me, no matter what it was. My mom and my dad, my mom to this day, and my father to his last breath, they stood beside me. And you know, like I'm proud that that my parents are able to say that my son is a changed man. You know, like it's a new beginning and it's a new road. So getting back to me growing up,
Yeah.
you know, so I grew up in, you know, obviously, you know, old school ways that like I believe that my parents wouldn't just take us to any type of doctor. So, you know, like if you want to say like addiction is a disease and or like ADHD and ADD and all of this, right? That's how they judge these kids and they get them onto mind altering substances at an early age. And my father used to be against that. My father used to say like, you know, if your son's acting a certain which way, you don't put him on a medicine, you slap him up. Like, yo, what are you doing?
So yeah.
What are you doing? And you
yeah.
guide, and that's, you know, being raised by men, like, you know, like what people take me and people take the Mike that you see today. A lot of people judge me, and it's like, listen, I'm just not gonna follow this culture of like not being proud to be a man. Like, I remember when I was growing up, like there was always men there for us. Like, you know, and some people don't know how it feels to be treated with like respect as some you be treated like with love from somebody that's not your father. It's an uncle or a friend and stuff like that. So having men around me, um,
That
I try to match that energy nowadays. You understand?
Yeah.
that's
So
it takes a tribe
yeah,
aspect. You know?
but you need a leader.
Right.
You know, and we don't live in a world where people don't care about their own kids anymore.
Well, one of the things that we always talk about we said this a bunch of times, like in prison, what you rarely see is a father in a visit room.
Mhm.
They're never there.
Well, to be honest with you, I truly believe, like, you know, there's parents out there that just say, you know, we gave this my son every opportunity. Now he has to face what he's got to face. You know, you're sitting behind those bars because of a choice, and sometimes the parents are the ones that have to put their foot down and say, listen, he got in there. When he gets home, we're gonna, you know, let him know like you're welcome, or whatever the case is. But it's very hard for a parent. And again, I'm not speaking like I was in prison because thankfully I didn't make it to prison. But
Yeah.
what I could tell you is that, um, you know, I do a lot of speaking with parents who've, you know, lost their children to addiction or to prison, because you know as well as I do that the prison system, once you get lost in the prison system, you know, your hopes of making it out are getting slimmer. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Prison is
absolutely.
real. People don't understand prison just because they watch a TV show or they watch a reel on Instagram. You know, they don't have no clue what prison is. Prison out in California is a lot different than New York prison, but prison is prison. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is that I truly believe like good kids that keep on going back to prison, now they create comfort zones. And they don't care about going back. They're going home to 3 hots and a cot.
Yeah, it's better than where they're
Better
coming
than what
from.
they're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Because they don't know who they are.
exactly.
So, you know, and again, you know, I can't stress to you guys like sitting with guys that had done prison time, like, you know, you guys did serious time. You've been with killers. You know, I didn't make it that far. But you were locked inside of your own block.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So now if you want to know how my story started,
Yeah,
this is when we could start.
Young
This
Mike.
is how it started. And I didn't recognize what was happening when it was happening. And I didn't put all of this together until I sat down and I thought about who I was and who I am and how did this really happen to me? Because like I tell you, I was raised by a narcotics detective. I was that kid that said I would never be a drug addict. I'm fully aware of what's going to happen to me. My father would come home and show us pictures and, you know, tell us stories about everything about to do with a drug addict.
So yeah, you seen
I
the end
knew
result
it.
of addiction.
I knew it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I still didn't give a fuck. And the reason why I didn't give a fuck was because, you know, genetically, I don't have the best teeth. You know what I'm saying? There's people that are, you know, gifted with beautiful pearly whites, and then there's people that have, you know, they have softer teeth so that their teeth, you know, start to get cavities and stuff.
Butter sticks. So,
Is that what they call them?
like my girl says, my
Yeah.
butter sticks.
So what happened was, you know, I didn't have the best teeth, and then, you know, I had to go to the dentist to get some cavities filled, and I'll never forget that I walked in there. I was 11 years old, and my mother had just dropped me off because she had to go back to work. She worked in the school, just, you know, helping. But back in the day, you know, it was different. They just dropped the kids off. They went in. You know, I went in to get my teeth done, and then they would pick me back up. So I walked into this thing, and I'll never forget. I walked in. I walked around the corner and into that room, and it was like a dark room. And I had this dentist there that hated himself because of like if I looked like that man, I would hate myself too. Like I'm
Yeah.
just being real. Like, and I'm
Yeah,
only
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that because of like I'm a
Yeah.
young kid and I have cavities, and he slammed his fucking hand on that desk and he said, "By the age of 30, you will have no fucking teeth in your mouth." And I'll never forget this. And I sat there like I just got my manhood taken from me, from a man that I don't even fucking know.
And you were already sensitive about the
I was
topic
very sensitive
going in.
because, like I said, growing up, these kids got beautiful teeth that I was with, and again, it wasn't the front, it was the backs, it was cavities, and I was there to fix them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to be violated like that at such an
Yeah, I
early
know.
age, that shit took my manhood, and it made me leave that office like I was violated by another man that wasn't even my father. But I grew up with New Yorkers that we didn't talk much. So all I did was now search for a comfort zone as I was a broken and defeated broken boy. That's what I was, broken and defeated. I felt like, he took everything from me. Like,
Teeth.
who are you to talk to me like that? And some people just say, oh, that's not that serious. It is that serious.
It is that
Well,
serious.
It is
teeth
that
are
serious.
Very, very
I
sensitive
was
subject.
already embarrassed. I was, going to face it to get it done. Like, like I went in there, it was my family dentist and this is what happened to me. So I never spoke about it. And I didn't even realize what was going on until I was 30 something years old.
You traced it back to
I
that.
traced it back because, bro, I almost took my
Fuck.
life over this.
Damn.
I almost took my life over this because I got to the point where I was proud of who I was, but I still couldn't look somebody in the face and speak with them. I was missing teeth. Like, I'll take my fucking teeth out right now. I don't care no more. That's why I tell kids, make sure you fucking take care of your teeth. I'll take my teeth out right now. There's no more shame in this game. I am who I am. You're going to love me or hate me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we love you.
I know you love me because
We
it's
do.
real.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
real.
Absolutely.
There's nothing not to love about somebody who's just real. There's no shadiness in my life. When I leave the room, I'm not talking about you. If I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it to your face. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you want to hate me because of it, you're going to hate me because of it. But that don't matter. Like, I lived in such a dark, deep, mental, then it became physical, every type of hole that you could possibly be in from 11 years old being mentally abused.
So that's the moment you would identify as maybe like the turning point? Because
That was my turning point of me broken. I already had the insecurities and the fears and, a little bit of pain and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of it. At 11 years old, when I went to go fix it, and he violated me. And again, I just remember leaving there saying, like, I am never fucking coming back to the dentist. I don't give a fuck. I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
I used to, so then the checkup appointments, I used to have my mom drop me off, and I remember I went to the wrong dentist. There was another dentist 2 blocks down. And I went and I sat in that room for an hour. And then I walked back up to the dentist, and I told my mom, now she was coming, she had to just pick me up and go back to school. And I remember telling her that they didn't call my name. And then when the secretary called my house, I deleted the message.
And how old are you?
11, 12.
That's crazy. At that age, you're already constructing.
Just like beating it, like, because and I never said nothing.
But that's the turning point at a young boy's age. That I remember I told you about in the liquor store. A kid came in with his older sister. They're kind of hard on the kids. That's when I lived over there in Venice. And the kid goes into the store and he's like, how much is this? He's like, this much. How much is this? And he's trying to count his little change in his pocket. And the store owner just started, oh, if you don't have the money, put stuff back. Don't touch stuff if you don't have money. If you broke, get out.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at him and he looked at his sister and it's like, you can see it. That's the triggers right there at a young boy's age, whether he's going to be like, you know what, motherfucker, I'm going to go get in these streets. I'm going to go get it how I get it. Because you just disrespected me in front of a whole store.
It's a turning point.
In front of my peers. Everybody at school is finna laugh at me. You're going to humiliate me.
Mm-hmm.
And that can either break a person in a good way or a bad way.
Most of the time,
And when you're living with a shame already,
Right.
like poverty, like dealing with your teeth or something and like a grown adult or just nails you with that topic.
But I'm there for a safe haven.
To get it, like I'm here to fix.
To get it fixed.
Yeah.
And I left there, like I said, and that was, so then from there, I remember I was lost and just fighting this, like just like what I had going on. I wasn't going back to the dentist, and I just learned how to, like I remember just running and running for years. And then I remember like I was maybe like 14 years old, 14 or 15. And Now this is from 11 to 14, and my front teeth started to decay around the sides, right? So I was in Long Beach Island, and me and my father were playing ball on the beach, and I used to hide my teeth. So now if you watch me now, I have my teeth fixed, and I still, because of all of my years of covering up my teeth, I will still speak covering up my teeth. So I did this at a young age. My father was a detective, and he didn't even know that my front teeth were rotted away. So I had thrown the ball to him, and then he did something stupid, and I laughed. And I remember him looking at me and saying, "Come here." And he said, "Smile for me." And I said, "No." He said, "Michael, smile for me." And I smiled. He says, "Why wouldn't you tell me that you need to go to the dentist?"
Damn.
I said, "Oh, Dad, this just happened." And he said, "This shouldn't just happen." And I still didn't tell him.
Why do you feel like you didn't share that moment? Like why?
Because I was just, I don't know. I don't know why I never spoke about it.
I mean,
that's
I've
why-
had shame in my life. It
Yeah,
runs
I mean,
deep.
again, I was
like,
just
yeah,
embarrassed. Like, again, I don't know. I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I do wish I knew, because, but then that's another reason why I do tell these young kids nowadays, like, yo, speak up. Speak up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you that this almost made me take my fucking life. Speak about it. Maybe I wasn't molested. Maybe I wasn't beat. Maybe I wasn't this. But I was still, something happened in my life that put me down the wrong road. And if I would have spoke about it, I wouldn't be sitting here to speak to you. I'd probably be a detective. I'd probably be on sanitation. I had an opportunity, but I just couldn't stop doing coke. I did the drug test thinking that I drink 2 gallons. I drink 2 gallons of water before I take the test. I didn't sniff blow for I don't even remember how many days before, and I still popped dirty. That's how much coke was in my system.
So did you start using like around 14?
No. So what happened was I started drinking. Naturally, I grew up in an Irish household, so my parents used to party.
Yeah.
And a little beers here, little beers there, nothing serious. And then we started to sneak around, and we started to in high school we started to drink, and one of my friends lived in the basement of his parents' house, and we used to have the older kids buy us alcohol and St. Ides. I don't know if you guys drink.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah. So we used to drink St. Ides and shit, and then but we would drink like excessively, and and that's where I started to find my comfort zone. So what happened? So when I was violated, when my life changed at 11 years old, as a young lost boy, I was searching for things, and like now I'm starting to realize, like, all right, so that was my addict mentality is a comfort zone for this reason, and I was running and running and running. So I played hockey. I played hockey for most of my life. Then I was thrown off my team in the 10th grade, and in the 10th grade when I was thrown off my hockey team, that's when I lost the interest of everything, and that's when I started to drink heavily on the weekends, and started to, just
What'd
learn
you get thrown
that.
off the team for?
Why'd I get thrown off the team? I mean, it was bullshit. We were away at a tournament, and I was upstairs playing CeeLo with the I was on JV and it was varsity.
CeeLo, that's
Playing CeeLo.
All I know about CeeLo is like
4,
what
5,
I hear,
6.
like Nas and all those.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that's dope.
So I was
That's
up there
dope.
playing CeeLo with the varsity team, and I was winning, so I couldn't leave the room. And the coaches were waiting for me in my room, and they didn't like the fact that I was out past curfew. So they wanted to sit me, but then I finished that game, and when we came back, they wanted to sit me for X amount of days, and I threw my skate at the coach and told him to go fuck himself, and I told my father, that was it, and that was it.
That's the way to get your point across.
Yeah, sounds about
I
right.
mean, and then it was back. Then it was just like, yo, I had groups of kids everywhere, and the weekends became instead of playing hockey and doing things that I should have been doing, it was just getting as drunk as I can. And
That was was hockey like your last saving grace? Like at that time, that was the last thing you were clinging to. So
now after that, then I had nothing to cling to, and my comfort zone became alcohol on the weekends.
Mm.
And just skating through during the week. I used to play, roller skate. I was just lost doing whatever I could do as a kid. But I used to surround myself with, anybody who just was just looking to get fucked up. Like the more drunk, the more alcohol we had, and like the craziest, and the fist fights and the disrespect, and like we weren't too like we used to get into like group fights, but we were fighting every weekend. kids trying to claim territory. Like, again, it's like, that's a joke coming from Staten Island, claiming territory. You know, like, oh, this is our
Ray's
park.
back there smiling.
This is
Yeah,
our
yeah.
park.
Hey,
This fucking park. We out
yeah,
here like in the middle of Compton, and he's telling me like, yo, this is really what it's like. But you know, that's what I said. Like, you know, Staten Island is a little bit different than, you know, Los Angeles, and you know, even like Staten Island and Brooklyn is different. Like Staten Island is like, you know, it's a little bit different. So the street life is way different. So, you know, but we just like the Staten Island kids. A lot of them turn to pills. A lot of them like, you know, basement parties and, you know, getting into bars early, a lot of parks and shit like that. So we always found somewhere, a keg party going on. There was always alcohol. And then I found that was just so comfortable. And then, you know, coming like my parents. You know,
what's dad? What is dad saying at this time? Like,
I
how
mean, he didn't.
are you hiding it? Or
I was hiding it because
You were that good?
I mean,
my father used to be, my parents were pretty cool. Like, they weren't like those people like, you have to be home at 10 o'clock and sleep next to me. Like, no, my parents like, just get home. We had a basement, we had a side apartment. So I used to come in through the side apartment and just go to sleep on the couch. You know, he had no clue. Even when like, you know, even when I was like really addicted living home, I used to sniff until I heard my father walking. The second I heard my father open up that door, I used to pretend I was sleeping. He used to open the door and be like, Michael? I'm like, He closed the door. He's home and he's safe. But meanwhile, I'm still fucked
yeah,
up.
you're going like 100 miles an
sniffing
hour.
lines.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it was just that bad. But,
Man.
you know, my father didn't really know how bad it was, you know. But he used to always tell us, like, you know, the favors can't drink alcohol. You drink all the beer you want, like, alcohol brings out a demon in us. And it's just the truth. It's just the truth. Like, there's a difference between beer and alcohol. But, you know, there was no stopping me. And he didn't know.
We've seen what alcohol can do. That white lightning had people get into a whole bunch of trouble.
Yeah, they got hard alcohol in prison. White lightning, they actually take the pruno, they distill it, cook it down into like a clear
moonshine.
Yeah, we've seen some people go nuts.
And
like
it turns into a rage.
Yeah, you become a different person. That's why I tell people, like, you know, you got to really, like, listen, there's people that could drink socially. And again, this is coming from an alcoholic. I'm like, yo, if you could have a couple of drinks and enjoy yourself, then God bless you.
Yeah.
But like, if you're just drinking to be accepted into a room or at a party or because you just don't know who you are, that's a fucking problem. That's a problem. You're drinking alcohol to be accepted. I drank alcohol to be accepted.
And to cover, to numb.
Because, you know, the more drunker we get, you ain't going to be looking in my mouth.
Damn.
You know, cocaine cocaine and alcohol was my drug of choice, right? But cocaine is done in dark bars, dark rooms, parties, nightlife. You know, everybody sniffs coke. Everybody sniffs coke. I sniff coke with the best of them.
Yeah.
Undercover detectives, firemen, you know, rich people to fucking junkies. I sniff coke with everybody.
Yeah.
Fesses, cocaine parties like you wouldn't fucking believe.
Wow.
It's just that common. So that type of drug, it was like, you know, as
what was this, 80s?
80s. How old do you think I am?
So I'm going to say 98, 99.
So I started drinking alcohol like at 14, and I took my first line of cocaine at 21.
Okay.
So from 21 to 34 was my run.
That first line,
I will say,
what happened?
Forget.
For some people, that's late.
It is late.
Yeah.
Because, yo, I was raised by a fucking narcotics detective. Remember, I grew up saying I'll never be that dude.
Yeah.
I'll never be that dude. My father used to bring us around and we used to see the fucking, he used to call it the nod. Where when heroin was really heroin, they would literally nod, standing straight up and fold, and then then out of nowhere, stand straight up and walk into work. Like that was the old heroin. And I said, I'll never become a drug addict. I will never become a drug addict up until 21. So I covered all that shit up for 10 years with just using alcohol.
But you were still drinking like a fish, though.
Do you remember the first time, where, when, how did you...
Coke?
Your first
Hell
time?
yeah. Fuck yeah.
I remember my first meth one, like, how did that, what? Instantly, you found the cure for all that ailed you in your life.
That's it. It was just like, this is it. Yo, I was 21 years old. I was down in Belmar. We had DJs. I was hanging out with a couple of kids that sold it, and a bunch of girls, and we went back to their shore house. And I remember going up the stairs to the left, and This one kid, I just broke it out of bag, and there was a couple girls there, and they're like, "Yo, do you do blow?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do blow." And I was like, did it. And then I just felt amazing. It was like it was like I stepped into this new, holy fuck, this is what this little powder could make me feel like. Then I realized that you talk, you get good with conversation, you get
Yeah.
real social.
Opened you right up, huh?
Yeah.
Opened him up.
Then you could
Social
drink
butterfly.
more. You start drinking more. Now I'm like, yo, my partying could go all night.
Damn.
So it started off with 1 bag a weekend. I remember that. That's a fact. So I didn't just go right.
You said
right.
1 bag a week.
1 bag a
And
weekend.
what's okay? And
So-
what's a bag
A
like?
50 bag. So I
Okay.
used to get down the shore, and I used to get a 50 bag. Then I would go to DJs. Then we would drink, and then I was like, when I really feel fucked up is when I took a little bump, and then that gave me like another couple of hours.
Oh, you were drinking and doing coke.
Yeah.
So you were trying to be a wide awake drunk.
Yeah, he was
But
tooting and
no,
booting.
that's because
He was tooting and booting.
Yeah, it was the beginning of it. It was like, yo,
Damn.
holy shit. And this is what I tell people, like, it makes you feel amazing. Like, I
Yeah.
remember, like, if I clear my nostrils today, I still taste cocaine.
Wow.
Damn.
Oh.
Like, I still taste cocaine. That's how much cocaine I did. I still taste it.
Did you? Is there any damage? Like I know,
Nah.
like I've heard of people like doing the whole tissue
nah,
like through their
that's
nose.
not. To be honest with you, and again, I say this all the time, and you know, I don't know why. I mean, I feel blessed. Like, there's a lot of things that I didn't get part of addiction.
Yeah.
One of the things is I think that I definitely have a fucked up septum, but I never went to the ENT. I you know, if I got to blow my nose, I blow my nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I could tell you is that I always tried to sniff good cocaine. Like, I wasn't trying. Like, I wasn't going to just anybody to buy my coke from. You know, like, even though I was lost and I was running from myself, and you know, I did enjoy the high. Like, I'm not gonna lie. There's a reason why I became who I became. But I also always had in the back of my head that, like, you know, I wasn't raised to be this guy. You know, like, I'm not desperate. I could afford my habit. Like, I supported my own habit. So I chose where I got my drugs from. And I truly believe that because I had less cut in it, that's the reason why my nose didn't, you know, shatter apart.
At what point did you hit where like I mean, you were hiding it, but you're not aware at that time. You're just living it. At what point did you hit like, damn, I'm a little in too deep? Like what I
So-
say when the drugs turned on me.
Yeah. So basically at 21 is when I realized that, you know, I could sniff some coke and I could drink some more, and it becomes like I'm real social, and then everybody around was doing it. Like, so like 21, and like I said, just on the weekends, it was cool. And then it just became a comfort zone about every time. Then it became every weekend was a bag or 2 bags. And then it would be, then I started to work kind of a little bit by myself, a little more freedom with working. So then I would go out like to a Thursday night, and I would just do 1 bag on the Thursday night and still make it to work. And then on the weekend, then go back out. So then that happened for a couple months. And then it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then that was it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would regroup, but I still go into the gym. I'm still, you know, like just moving. Like I said, I was making, my father, from a child, my father showed me how to make money. So I'm not afraid to work, and I supported it. So the more money I was making, then I bought an investment property. Basically, like, you know, I had some guys just come together, and somehow, some way, I got a house.
Do you think do you believe in the concept of a functioning addict? Do you think that's a such thing?
Oh, I was a functioner,
Okay.
100%.
He building houses.
Yeah, I used to.
I mean, I always say you can function for so long until it
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, again, I drink to sniff, and I sniff to drink.
Hmm.
So I got to the point where when I first started, like, I wouldn't be really sniffing on a job. Maybe if, like, at the end of the day, if we were just drinking beers, I'd do a couple of bumps. But yeah, it got to the point where, you know, years down the road, you're talking about being a functioning addict, man. Like, I would literally wake up and start my bag with a 50. Start my day with a 50 bag rip before I got in the shower. So I used to pretend that I was going outside to start my car, my truck. Well, I did. I used to start it. So in the wintertime, I put the heat on. And in the summertime, I put the air conditioner on.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I come out and I would, the night before, I make sure that I had a 50 bag and I would crush it up. And right before I took my shower, I ripped my first line. So you think that there's active addiction there?
Yeah, I mean,
So
absolutely.
then from there, I
And
used
how-
to go, then I used to go to the liquor store that opened up at 9 a.m. So instead of me drinking alcohol because everybody could smell it, I used to drink Smirnoff ices.
Damn.
So I used to drink like 40 Smirnoff ices a day while sniffing, you know, in the beginning it wasn't, like I got up to,
Smirnoff ices
yeah.
a day.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Bruh.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I mean,
40 Smirnoff,
you know,
That's
knowing
that's
you,
easy.
yeah. I mean,
that's 3.5 12 packs, bro.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you know, Fireball, that cinnamon shit, they used to sell those little
Listen,
shooters.
He used to drink 40 Smirnoff.
I mean, again, don't count me on 40, you know, direct 40, but yeah, a lot.
Damn near 40 Smirnoffs a day.
But beers too. You know, think about it. I'm sitting like, you know, like when there was times throughout my addiction that, you know, people didn't, I would openly be in the bar. You know what I'm saying? So addicted to alcohol. So I'd be in the bar. I don't know if you guys remember like Jaeger bombs, right?
Yeah.
Jaeger bombs and all of this shit, like all the stupid.
that's the
drinks.
Jägermeister mixed with the, yeah.
We just start banging them down, and then they got the things where you drop in the Guinness. What is that thing called? Car bomb, right? Car bomb. You drop like a shot or something in the Guinness. Boom, you'd be shooting those like chocolate milk tasting shit down your throat.
Yeah.
And that's all alcohol. Think about that. Then on top of that, beers upon beers upon beers upon beers. And you know, that was normal.
Did you graduate to 7 days a week?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Quick?
I ran for like, I want to say a good 5 years was at least 5 years of my addiction was at least 5 days a week.
Damn.
I want to say like 8 months I did it 7 days. Like 8 months before I said I got sober, that's when I was doing 7 days. I would try to limit the amount of coke that I did in front of my ex, and like, you know, like on the weekends if I had to do something, I don't know who knew what, but I didn't, you know, not too many people really pid me out.
Did anybody? Yeah. Also, I was gonna ask. Did anybody call you on it? Was there any kind of interventions? Or,
Yeah, no, there was actually a bullshit intervention. I mean, again, listen, you know, I'm not really here to speak about, you know, the family side of it, but
Sure.
you know, I had a bullshit ass intervention, and somebody was like, you know, if you don't go get help, then I'm not gonna stand. And I said, yo, I don't fucking need you beside. You fucking kidding me? You haven't been beside me my whole life. You think an intervention is gonna bring us together?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Nobody believed in me.
Yeah.
If you don't go away and get help, you weren't standing beside me all these years. Now all of a sudden you show up at an intervention. You think that your words mean anything to me?
Yeah.
I'm telling you that I got sober because I wanted to get sober. You showed up after I got sober to pretend that you care. Get out the fucking house.
That's the coldest. That's just,
Yeah.
that's truth in its rawest
That's it.
form.
I was at my lowest and you knew it.
Right.
All of a sudden
People have a hard time taking responsibility for that one right there.
Bro,
Especially when people get out of jail. Everybody think it's all good, want to pull up. All
Yeah.
this. Man,
Where the
look,
fuck
man.
were you?
Yeah, say that.
you know, like, and listen, there's
I'm
certain
giving people old prison addresses like, yeah, this is where I live.
Yeah.
Because you looking for the old
Go.
me and it's the new me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you ain't privileged enough to get this.
The people that were there for me, you know what I'm saying? I took their words, I listened to them, and I told them what I was gonna do. You know, like I said, I did have some support beside me, but there was one person that need to go away. Like, I need to go away? I'm telling you that I'm done. You don't even know what I was doing. You know nothing about me. Somebody called you to come sit with an intervention. You think that your words really mean something to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like I got questioned, you know, one time my brother-in-law had called me and he was like, yo, do you have a problem? And I'm like, I don't got a fucking problem.
Quick.
And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo, did you just, or did you not sniff a 50 bag and walk into Lowe's? I said,
Those.
I did a bump.
Hold on.
Yo, so check it.
Hold on. Was he watching you? in the
No.
parking lot?
Yo, my
Oh, you got
fucking,
out the car with
my-
him? Like, hold on.
I have my,
He said,
no,
Do it back real
He
quick.
said
Listen, I had
Lowe's.
my best friend Anthony, God rest his soul. Anthony, who was doing this shit with me, knew that I was way worse than everybody and called my brother-in-law on me. He told my brother-in-law that he was really concerned about me. This
turned
kid who's
you in,
working
huh?
for me. He's working for me. He's my best friend. one of my best friends, working for me, sniffing blow with me all day long, and he called my brother-in-law because that's how bad the problem was.
Why? What did he? What? He saw something. If it's your best friend, he saw something that he was
just saw-
worried.
because
He said, "Look, did you just knock a 50 piece back
And walked into Lowe's?
and walked
but-
into Lowe's?
Yeah, I was bouncing all over the place. Bing,
Yeah.
bing, bing, 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
What were
So-
you doing?
I was running. I had a contracting company.
Oh yeah.
Not a company, but like I had jobs. I would take my own jobs just to make shit work,
Mm.
you know? But yeah, it was, my father, like, one time I got locked up for it. My father, the
Yeah.
guy
What
called
happened
my
there? Like when
father.
you get locked up,
I never got locked up on anything serious. Listen,
arrested though, right?
I've been arrested. I was arrested 3 times.
You went to Rikers?
No.
Did you play the call my dad? I got the debt.
No, to be honest with you, when I was growing up and when we brought into the precinct, it was only for like bullshit. I mean, we get right out with a desk appearance ticket, you know what I'm saying? But every time I got locked, I never got a DWI. 13 years of active addiction, drinking and driving every day.
Wow.
Never got a DWI. Like, like I said, maybe I am here for a reason.
Absolutely.
Because my run was pretty serious. I never went behind bars. I never got I kind of like, I was raised the right way. I was just in the wrong lane. You understand?
It was always there. It was just
Yeah, like
beneath
my-
all
like,
this
I live with
going on.
morals. I live with respect. I was raised this way. You know what I'm saying? And
So-
even though I was an addict, I was just a lost boy. And I feel like that's a lot of addicts are just lost. And there's a lot of people out there that just don't understand them. They think that they understand an addict or somebody who has, nowadays everything is all mental illness, mental illness, mental illness. So then fucking fix mental illness. Stop making excuses and get to work. Don't wait until the people are dead to claim mental illness and say there's a problem here and you're gonna fix it. Like at the end of the day, it's a serious, serious problem between addicts and mental illness.
So what was something that really just, everybody has to get to that breaking point. How long before you reach a point in your life where it was just, some people it takes
Shit
one
is
major
bad.
thing.
Yeah.
With some people you seem like you was just in it
Yeah.
and you were just.
Well, I was running, like I said, I would leave my house in the morning and I would get home at
How many blows did it have
one,
to take to
2.
you?
I didn't change my life because I got locked up. I mean, again, like I said, I got locked up on just random.
What happened?
They just randomly searched me, like just like again, probable cause could be anything in New
No, I
York.
was talking about
Get out of the car.
what happened in your life along the journey to where as you were.
Where you like this shit's got to
Yeah,
stop.
you
Like
hit
this
rock
is.
I mean, again, it's just
Like-
like I kept on running I was just running from my childhood shit that I never faced, and the deeper that you get, the more that you think that nobody's gonna understand. The more and more that you deal with people, and you're trying to speak. Like I remember, like my real breaking point was to the point where like I had gotten locked up 3 times, talked to my father 3 times. One time, my ex had just gone away somewhere. I got locked up that afternoon. Just like honestly, like just the disgust of living that drug addict life when I shouldn't have been living it. Like it's disgusting that you have
Yeah.
good people around you. Like I said, sometimes people are just brought up in the wrong neighborhoods and or the wrong family or whatever it is. And like I was the complete opposite. Like like I had all the opportunity in the world. I had an amazing family. At the time, I had an amazing girlfriend. Nobody knew what my problems were. Like I never spoke about them. So here I am. Like they just may think, oh, I had a couple of beers, and what are they gonna do? Yell at me? I'm a grown ass working man. You're gonna tell me I can't have a couple of beers after work? So it got to the point where I was very distant from everybody. I would make every excuse on why not to see people. I slept on the couch for years because I would get home so late and be fucked up, and she'd be like, "Were you drinking again?" And I'm like, so like when I told her I was getting sober and things like, and I really wasn't. I used to eat cloves of garlic before I got home. So I tell her that I just went to Domino's and I got garlic bread
to
'cause
kill the
the
alcohol.
garlic would kill the alcohol smell.
Damn. That is active addiction.
Yeah.
And complete. And when you said that too, like, you didn't grow up in it, it just goes to show like addiction,
Close the
it does
door.
not discriminate.
Hell no.
It does not discriminate.
No.
No matter what tax bracket, no matter what paint job you have.
No.
So
So-
when was that? Take us to the moment where you surrendered. You threw it up. You said
I
the
got
war
to
is
the point
over.
where, yeah, I mean, again, I remember like, I was living in many years of physical and oral pain. My teeth were rotten, and so like when I was running with my teeth this whole time growing up and finding comfort zones, what you need to understand is I found comfort zones that got me through the pain that I was in. And if you ever had a toothache, you know what a toothache feels like?
It's
Okay.
unbearable. Yeah.
Well, just understand that I had 17 teeth pulled out of my mouth. 17 teeth.
Mm.
Now take your toothache times it times 17.
I thought it was to say, take your toothache and shove it up
Shove
your
it
ass.
up your ass, boy.
Yeah.
But for real, think about that.
Yeah,
I had
damn.
17 teeth pulled.
Damn. Mm.
So think about what it takes to get that tooth pulled. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like my teeth were gum lined, and and they would get so like I also like learning how to like stick and move and deal with situations. I learned how to keep that underneath control. So my teeth are rotting away, and as a kid, I'm like living with this fucking embarrassment and this feeling inside of me, and I don't want to tell nobody. So I remember one time I was working at George Carapella's tax office, and this woman Sue was talking about her brother, and her brother was an addict, and she said that his face had swelled up because of citrus. She's like, I tell him he has his fucking teeth are fucked up, and he can't have citrus because it brings out abscesses. I said, really? Because I'm getting abscesses.
Oh.
So I didn't have citrus for 20 years of my life. 20 years I stopped.
Wait, the citrus?
Citrus will bring out an abscess.
Wow.
So then when I would notice it, because every time I would have galamad, I was always in Little Italy. Galamad is very common in New York. Galamad with lemon. Within a couple of days, I had an abscess.
I know, you got a big old spot.
Some of that galamad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, what?
So
Let us know what
is it?
galamad
so
is.
the
Mike.
galamad,
You know what it is?
yeah.
No.
So it's fried galamad, and you sprinkle lemon on it. So, and just within like a day or 2 days or 3 days, I start to feel an abscess coming in. So what I started to do was, instead of telling people like I have an abscess, I need to go to the dentist, I used to put a lollipop in my mouth and just have a lollipop in my mouth all day. I love lollipops. Meanwhile, I can't stand having fucking lollipops in my mouth, but I'm hiding the swellingness of it. And then I would then I would go elsewhere and I would start to rub it, right? To make it nice and soft. And then I would get home and I would pop an abscess in my mouth. Just so I didn't go see that dentist.
I mean, fuck, that's crazy. I mean, I get it. I know, like certain people have fears of hospitals. Like in our case, we meet people that have had experiences with dogs at a young age, who that fear is like transferred on until their elder age. So like when you're talking about it in that concept, I can totally get that.
I remember just, just running from it, and just then as it got worse, I thought less of myself. I just got to the point where, I was just, I'll fix them if I get on sanitation or something like that. Like
if this happens, everything
happens.
I'm picturing too, like when you're telling that, like just like a young man just operating out of just desperation.
Yeah, man, I lost, and like again, nobody knew. Like I wasn't like that kid who just sat in a room. Like I was out.
Right.
Like I was always with, like wherever I could be, I was out. But I was just covered up, and I remember just making excuses for everything.
And how exhausting is that to have to with the lollipops and to do
the lollipops? And so then how about this?
So many.
So years down the road, so when my father see me on the beach that day, and remember he said, "Why wouldn't you tell me?" And I still didn't say anything. So he said, "We're gonna get them fixed." So
this is when 15, you guys were playing catch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we got back, my father made me a dentist appointment, and he came with me, and I had these 3 front teeth fixed.
What age is this right here?
15, 16.
Okay.
So when I went in there, he took me in there to fix that, and then from there I was supposed to go back to the appointments, and that's the last time that I went into the dentist. So from 11 to 15, I did nothing with a dentist, and then my front 3 rotted. Well, they weren't fully rotted; they were on the sides, right? So
what is it, like decay and
decayed on the side,
okay.
not like not the top, like on the side. So like it would come in a little bit.
Okay.
So we made an appointment and the dentist fixed those 3. And I remember looking in the mirror and smiling. I was like, I could smile. Okay.
Wow.
So now I'm talking like I had to be 20 something years old. I was, I was all coked out one afternoon on my job site, and my ex called me about something, and I used to yell through my teeth. Like, I don't know if like you ever had a rage and when you're fucking yelling, fucking motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm fucking flipping out. I used to be very aggressive, like with my mouth, very abusive, man. Listen, I hated myself, and that's what I tell people. Like if you're dealing with somebody that hates themselves, that's the problem. It's not you. That's the problem. That they hate themselves, so therefore they project all of that hate on everybody else. And I did it. I hated myself, so therefore everybody got the shit under the stick.
And it was all about,
And, it was all because
That's
I hated
important.
myself.
That's an
I didn't
important
want to
message.
hear. I didn't want to hear the truth. I didn't want to just accept anything. I hate myself, and I'm going to do everything to just whatever makes me feel good. So when you hate yourself, you feel good when you hate. Like I tell people, you got to wake up every morning and build that daily hate. Unless you really
Damn.
hate somebody,
That takes a lot of energy.
you got to get up and you got to turn your mindset on to, fuck him or fuck this one or fuck that one. Like I wake up nowadays, I'm like, life is good.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck what's going on. Life is good. And if I don't like something today, I make a choice to change it. And if I can't change it, I'll figure it the fuck out. Sometimes you got to accept something, but, when I used to yell and I used to scream, I was full of hate, and I used to push those fucking words out of my mouth. And I remember I was building a Staten Island Advance building, and I blew the front cavity out.
Oh,
All right.
Like in some rage, like.
Yeah, my tooth, not my tooth, the filling flew out of my mouth.
oh,
So now, instead of me going to the dentist,
And
'cause
at this
that's what
point, that's an exposed nerve, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
now, most men or women that blow a cavity out of their mouth, they'll go to the dentist and get it fixed.
Yeah.
I went to CVS and I bought Dentex. And then I went to my Coke dealer's house and I bought 5 bags.
I mean, who doesn't do that when you get a tooth? Just go to get Dentex and Coke. Yeah.
So
hold on.
Damn.
the Dentex is a white filler for cavities. So if you're on
cover
the
the
run,
exposed
to
nerve.
cover the exposed nerve. So I put it in, and then I used to smoke cigarettes and pull the nicotine into it to discolor it a little bit. And I preserved my front tooth for 7 years. 7 years I preserved my front tooth.
Oh,
Because I wouldn't, my molars are all shungad and, gum lined and falling out. And I was like, I could deal with all of that. My canine that I had ripped out, the back was rotted
Right.
away. I could deal with
hold
that.
on. The molars were.
The molars were, I was just already through that pain.
I mean, a translation on the Shrungad.
Shungad. Shungad is they're fucked up,
Okay,
Yeah, the
yeah.
Shungad.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so I preserved my front tooth for 7 years, bro, because that was I was like I can't let this one go.
How old at this point?
20, late 20s.
So we're talking like almost 15
You
years.
had a run.
All 15 years,
You-
all behind.
All behind those man
fucking-
words. You will have no teeth in your mouth by the age of 30. And then cocaine, it goes in, you go up your nose, and it definitely decays your fucking teeth. There's no doubt that cocaine will definitely play a part in bad teeth. So, and then not only that, being a drug addict, you're not brushing your teeth, you're not cleaning your teeth, you
Yeah,
don't care about
exactly,
your
yeah,
teeth,
yeah.
But the breaking point was I got to the point in my life where, I started to regret a lot of things. And one of the main things that I regret, and I kind of just learned how to accept it and just take that memory and realize that you never want to be this person again. You understand? There's some regrets in life that you just have to learn that this regret in life, you may consider it a regret. And that's okay, because you do regret doing it. But it's a fucking lesson, and it's a lesson from you to learn from. That was your real life experience, and it made you feel a certain which way to the point that you now regret it. But it's also a lesson learned. So I was, naturally I'm a contractor, and I landed ironically, I landed a community right at the corner of my parents' block. When we were growing up, I remember I got shot in the face with a BB gun. We used to ride dirt bikes in there, bikes, make jumps. We were a little kid. I used to steal all the wood and build tree houses back there. So, 20-something years later, swamplands are no longer swamplands. I didn't know if you guys know that, but they just filled things and start building houses everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, then my childhood playground was a swampland, and now they're building homes in it. Being a deck builder, I wound up getting in there to build all of the decks.
They gentrify the swamplands.
Yeah,
That
just compress it, and that's it. That now it's for sale. So I remember, this is when, my addiction was every day, and I used to leave my house, go right to my Coke dealer. The first Coke dealer of the morning was 5 for $2, 5 bags for $200, right off the highway, right back onto the highway, right onto my job site. So by 9 o'clock, I'm already 3 bags deep because my lunchtime Coke dealer is on his way. I also had kids that worked for me that always had blow and stuff like that. I surrounded myself with everybody that I needed to support my habit.
Yeah, like every great
like
addict.
everybody,
yeah,
the
absolutely.
drug addicts to the dealers to this, that they're like, and again, that's what I do now. I do that shit now. I surround myself with people that are gonna fill my addiction. I turn the negative addiction to a positive addiction. So the regret is that my father lived right down the block, and my father was a breakfast man. My father used to love breakfast. So my father used to call me every single morning and ask me if I would join him for breakfast. You want to go for breakfast? Want to go for breakfast? And I was already 2-3 bags deep, and I would be, I can't. I'm too busy, Dad. Meanwhile,
no appetite.
like no appetite.
Yeah.
I'm busy, Dad. I'm busy. And I used to drive down the block, and I used to look down this not a long road, but the block in New York. And my father's house used to be right at the end of it, and my father would be sitting on the stoop. So now every time I drive down there, I look down there and still see my father sitting there. So running from that for so long and getting to the point that I was living with too much hate in me and too much regret. I was starting to regret everything. I was starting to lose the energy of life. I was starting to, my depression was getting deeper and deeper to the point where, I was actually getting out of the I didn't sleep in my bed, my bed with my ex for years. I didn't see anybody. I was running from everything. I used to get out of the shower and put a hoodie on to hide my body from myself. And it just got to the point where I said, if I don't do this, my father's going to get the call. And I said, I need to do this. And I said, my ex didn't know that I had been on an 8-month tear because 8 months before that, I got locked up and I tried the sobriety thing. And it was going good. But then I went to go get a tattoo and I sniffed 1 bag. I got this 1 tattoo and I was able to do it. I came home. I just sat for a tattoo for 4 hours. Of course, my eyes are going to be fucked up. Nothing. She didn't catch on to anything, nothing. And then the next day I did that 1 bag again. And before you know it, I was up to like 30 bags a day. So that was for 8 months. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm gonna end up dead. And I told myself, if I make it home today, you have to do what you got to do. And I remember I woke up, it was March 26th, 2016 was Easter Sunday. So Easter Sunday that's why I woke up, I was supposed to go to my sister's house. I called her, I said, I don't feel good. The night before that, or the 27th was Easter Sunday, whatever it was, my ex woke up in the morning, I didn't even come home and tell my ex, I actually wrote to her in the driveway and she had looked at it and she was like, I can't believe this, don't come home or something like that. Naturally what anybody would say. And I remember turning out of my driveway and go back out to go get, more blow. And I was like, I got to do this. I turned around, I went back. And that day I was actually drinking because I didn't have to drink Smirnoff Ice. That was my last day. I drank a lot all day long. I was in every single bar, Hennessy, Fireball, this bomb, that bomb, 8 balls beyond belief.
And you're telling yourself,
because I'm coming home and that's my
last
day. And if I make it home. And the next morning I woke up and I was in a dark apartment. And I went on to social media and I typed in sober and the first page that I saw was Sober Evolution. It was a guy named Austin. And I asked him for some words and he gave me words. And we're not close, but it's definitely a man who he's definitely a man who I try to be nowadays. He kept it real with me. He told me find motivation, find this, find that, guided me. two different lifestyles, two completely different people. He was, an addict, but just different addictions, different lifestyles, and different everything. But he told me what I needed to do, and I did find motivation to pull me out of a dark spot. William King Hollis has a speech. It's called Legacy. That was a speech that changed my life. If you listen to Legacy today, it's the life that I live today.
Who's it by?
William King Hollis.
Okay.
William King Hollis, we've worked together before. He's a good dude. His story is serious. He's an international known speaker, and he speaks from experience, from being traumatized as a child. I think his mother died in a crack house in front of him. He was suicidal on the side of a gas station, wrote a speech, went in and he started to use his pain to spread awareness, and it worked.
How hard was it rebuilding your life at this point?
To be honest with you, rebuilding my life, I still haven't rebuilt my life, bro.
You're still building.
I don't think that I have 10% of my personal life rebuilt. I started a mission before I rebuilt myself.
Damn. And that's coming from somebody has an amazing, successful life. Where did the dogs come into play?
So what happened was,
Pitbulls and Addicts.
Damn Pitbull. No. So when I got sober on March 26, 2016. I started to work beside Husky House in New Jersey and Goats of Anarchy. I started to build for them up there. As you know, I'm a creative builder, and I love to create. Leanne welcomed me. I told her my story. She told me that I could, I got a place.
Goats?
Yeah, Goats of Anarchy. Special need goat rescue. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yo, it's amazing. It's really amazing. Like, these little goats are whipping around. Like,
and you have dogs as kids too? Like, was there already
listen, as a kid, we had dogs.
Oh, man.
We're not just going to pass over Goats of Anarchy?
Anarchy goat.
Yeah, Goats of Anarchy.
So you said goats are whipping around.
Yeah, whipping around on, like she takes farm animals that are special needs and she gives them an opportunity.
Oh, so it's like goats with wheelchairs? Like,
goats in wheelchairs and three-legged and two-legged, and she creates an opportunity for the yeah.
That's just a special kind of person.
Go check it out.
Yeah,
like,
that's a special kind of person.
Go check it out. Yeah, but so I got to see behind the scenes of, like, I promote real rescue. Like, Husky House is real rescue. Goats of Anarchy is real sanctuary. So when I started to work with these two things, and as you guys know, as changed men, we have our mindset, like, we have to be in control of it. Like, like we are too used to running, we are too used to turning to certain things. At the end of the day, like, we as men or women or as a changed mind, you have to feel all of that, or else you're gonna end up right where the fuck you started. And I started to put a little bit of energy. I started to find, like, I found a lot of comfort. I found, like, looking into, like, these cows' eyes and, like, these goats' eyes and these big ass animals. These horses are happy to see me, and I just started to feel at home. So in the sanctuary life, and then we walked into Husky House on July 4th, 2016, and I was 2 months sober, and I seen a German Shepherd puppy that, like, my ex had asked me if we could foster her previously, and I was like, nah, I'm just getting sober. If something happens, I can't do it. And I remember walking in on the 4th of July because, I don't need to party on this holiday. I'm going to go and help the dogs or whatever. And I showed up and I walk into a back room of Husky House, and all these little crazy German Shepherds are all going crazy. They're trying to jump over, and this little dog started to, like, waddle sideways and, like, look at me. And I was like, is that the one? And she was like, yeah. I said, you know what? I'll give that dog the best 4 months. And that dog changed my entire life. I gave that dog almost 7 years. I just lost on February 24th. She took her last breath.
Yeah.
So they gave her 6 months, and we gave her almost 7 years.
What did that dog do for you?
To be honest with you, at the darkest point of my life was, I feel like, I always say, like, dark points in your life, and it's like people just don't understand, like, when you're rebuilding everything and you fucked up everything, and, like, it's very hard that when you're going through a difficult time that everything doesn't take its toll on you. Like, everything starts coming back, like when your mind is off, it's like everything starts coming up, and you start thinking about one thing, and you start, Like naturally, we drive ourselves into deeper depressions from overthinking about everything.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like this is just one little problem in your life, and you know, like so what this dog did for me was she showed me what it was to showed me what it was to live for something beside myself and to get high. So like I started to come home after work to take care of. I remember like 4 days into our life and our journey together, she started to have a seizure, and I was looking at this dog, and she had like, you know, like she had like zero opportunity. She was bouncing off the floor. She was born with subaortic stenosis, and subaortic stenosis is a heart condition. And they told us from the beginning that her heart is going to explode. It's just going to happen.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her being so tiny and her heart working so much that it was causing her to have a seizure and convulse. And I remember sitting outside on my balcony, and I had it in my things. I have a picture of it and everything. And I'm like, you can't leave me yet. You cannot leave me yet. I only had this dog a couple of days, and you know, she didn't leave me.
Mm.
And so she opened up a whole new world, what it was to live for something that appreciated. You know, like I didn't appreciate myself. I didn't appreciate nobody. I didn't love myself. I lived that addict life for many years of my life, and I lost all emotions. I lost all cares in the world. All I cared about was getting high and running from my problems instead of fixing my problems. That dog showed me to get home. So she changed my entire life. And then she just started, then from Honey, I started to, you know, like really care about, you know, like taking care of Goats of Anarchy. Like it just became like I'm saving this dog, and this dog is like putting this new life into me. You know, I started to, you know, really get more involved with Goats of Anarchy. And then I started to really like, I just started to really enjoy that
gave me
part.
goosebumps. He said, this dog is putting new life into me.
Yeah, she gave me new life, bro.
You remember?
We know. Yeah, we know well. I mean, yeah,
I never felt that way. Never felt that way. And, you know, like I had people that would like, what are you doing this for? Are you crazy? And I'm like,
yeah.
it's just a reason. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, I'm
There's a
crazy.
reason.
Yeah.
You know, like this is, and again, I didn't even know it was my calling. Didn't even know it. I was following it. I just let I let this feeling inside of me. I said, fuck it. I'll give this dog the best 4 months. What do I got to lose? And that dog gave me almost 7 years, bro.
Yeah. Mine was a German Shepherd too. My Flynn, my German Shepherd, same thing. Like changed my life.
So then after I rescued her, then, you know, like I ran into a backyard breeder. I took all his dogs. I told him, you're fucking beat. Then people like reaching out to me, and I was like, you know, I remember coming home to my ex and saying like, yo, we're starting a rescue. It's called No More Pain. And she was like, let's go. Like my ex was like just down with it. So we started No More Pain Rescue, and we got a call about an abandoned pit bull that was upstairs, up in an attic that was left for however many days, and you know, like they were selling a house. There was there was tenants downstairs that happened to be very red. It was in the Bronx, so they were selling the house, and the dog had to get her. So the dog was going to ACC. So they told me at the time, they said it's just a small pit bull, a little white pit bull, really pretty. That dog had been starved and abused and left in a cage. And so I said, I'm going to go get it. You know, I'm a rescuer.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, let me go. Now I'm going into the Bronx, and my ex's girl, like mother's saying like, what are you doing? You's crazy. And she's like, nah, don't worry about it. So like, I'm on the way into the Bronx. And if you don't know about the Bronx in New York, you could just go to YouTube and type in the Bronx and see what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you know how to flip open a knife? And she's like, I'm like, this is what you do. I'm like, yo, if they get close enough, you just start stabbing. You just start stabbing. We'll answer questions later. Like I said, here's a machete. Here's a baseball bat. Like I said, yo, you just got to be ready. These like like if this is whatever this is, if it goes down, we're in the Bronx. It's that serious. Understand that. And like, yo, she was really about it. She was like, she was scared, but she was like, yo, we're gonna go get a dog. And I was like, that's my intention. Like, listen, I'll do all the speaking I have to. Like, I'm verified in the hood. Like, I know how to speak to the hood. I'm not here. I don't give a fuck who you're banging with. I don't give a fuck about nothing besides that dog. And to this day, that's how I like, you know, like,
yeah.
that's how I still my approach. Like, listen, I'm not here for you. This is nothing this is about that dog. This is who I am and this is what the fuck I do. I don't give a fuck who you roll with. So, but that's the mentality. That's how I live my life. You understand? But now I'm here to do a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So it's real easy for me to adjust my lifestyle.
Yeah, it's the same. You're using the same energy.
The same energy that I used to be a scumbag is the same energy that I'm here to rescue this dog. When we pull up, they gave me the wrong address first. So I get sent to a strip club. I'm like, yo, this is a fucking setup. They're trying to rob me or something. So it was like whatever it was, West 12th Street or 12th Drive or whatever it was, like same number but different, like, you know. So we get the right address, we pull up, and there's a party going on downstairs. It's very red. So here's a white guy, a white dude in a dark neighborhood with a red party going on with a little girl from Jersey. He had to rescue a pit bull. Can you imagine it?
That's a bad recipe. yeah.
So I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm knocking on the door and they ain't doing nothing. Then all of a sudden they open the door. I was like, yo, I'm here for the dog. I got a baseball bat in my hand. I like, you know, and they're like, I said, I'm here for the dog. And they were like, he's upstairs. I said, all right, so who's coming? And they were like, nah, we ain't going upstairs. Fuck that. I said, yo, I ain't going upstairs. So then one guy comes out. He's like, nah, he's cool people. And then everybody started like, you know, all right, cool, yo. What do you got? What do you do? I said, listen, I'm just here to rescue the dog. I heard that there's a little white pit bull. He's like, nah, there ain't no little white pit bull. He's like, that dog is crazy upstairs. He's been up there going crazy. I said, what happened? He said, yo, that motherfucker's a molester. He supposedly what they said was that the guy was picked up for molesting a child. And when he was picked up, the woman and her daughter picked up and left. So when you look through this door, the TV's still on, the lights are on, everything is on. They just picked up and bounced. I'm like, I'm not going through that door. Stupid.
Yeah.
I think I was born, I may be white, but I ain't stupid. So I was like, yo, you kicked that door open. I'll rescue this dog, but kick that door open. And he kicked the door open and he ran down the stairs. The dog was in the attic. So now I get in there and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Nah, it's just me and somebody who I don't know. In the middle of the Bronx, and now I'm in the upper floor, upper fire escape. That was to the second floor, like a fire escape type of stair.
Yeah.
And now this dog is now on another door to go upstairs. So I was like, yo, I'm not taking that door, bro. I don't know who the fuck's behind that door. I said, open that door and I'll do the rest. So I opened the door and the door came flying. This was Aria. And it took me about 45 minutes to get a slip lead over her neck. And
Scared to death.
Scared to death. I had no clue about rescue. I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. You know, I just thought I was going to rescue a dog. But I did the right approach, and it's like, yo, I'm gonna treat you the same way you're gonna treat me. If you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna come at you. And that's what I've learned in with dogs is that if they understand that you're there to help them, chances are they're gonna let you help them. And I say that because I'm a rescuer and I really rescue abuse and neglect, and I'm yet to have a serious problem. Every dog I went to go get, I got. What's the reason for that? It's because I'm there for the right reasons.
Yeah, you're
and those animals know it. So with that and with my personal success to this day of rescuing animals, it's like I don't need humans to agree with me or like me. I just need I'm rescuing.
It's not my job.
I understand. The rest of it's going to come. They're going to love you or hate you. They're going to support you. They're going to judge you. They're going to do everything they're going to do is based upon their opinion.
I would be expecting to see that meme somewhere on Instagram later on today.
Which one?
Somebody, all the dog lovers, animal lovers out there. I don't need the humans to respect me.
I don't.
I just need.
I don't.
I want who I'm there to rescue.
I'm just here for the.
I'm here for the dogs.
Yeah.
I'm here for the dogs, and you know, like rescue is rescue, but like not only do I rescue these dogs, I rescue these dogs that are broken. I was broken, and I know that I was able to rise above because of opportunity that I built for myself. And if I could build an opportunity for myself, I could build an opportunity for a broken dog, and that's what I.
So, because you have insight, more insight than any person, and I know you will speak on it. There's a dark cloud over the rescue world. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. What is the difference between a person having a rescue, going into it with a good intention and the best intention, and then a person that goes into the rescue world for gain, notoriety, for profit, or you have some people that they go into it to get dogs and it turns into a complete hoarding situation.
It's just the real and the fake. There's a difference between the real ones and the fake ones.
Right.
So what I truly believe is that social media has made rescue more about the story than about the dog. If everybody was concerned about a rescue dog, then why the fuck is there dogs in shelters? Then why none of these people taking dogs home and putting the cages up in their house to get that dog into safety? You know, why are people not building small safe havens for these dogs? The truth of the matter is that they don't want to do the work. A life is 24/7, 365, right?
Yeah.
So that means that that dog that you rescue has to be taken care of 24/7, 365. It ain't about you no more.
And what do you say? Okay, on social media, they're presented as how?
They're presented as that they rescue the dogs.
And they,
So-
When you like, if you go and take a dog that's maybe running stray and you drop it off at a shelter and you leave, does that make you a rescuer?
no.
Yeah.
No, but that's just that.
No,
that's
that,
somebody-
yeah, that's what I'm.
That right there is just a good citizen who's doing the right thing for the animal. You know, not all shelters are bad. Just the shelter system is broken. If the shelter systems were ran correctly, which I do have it, like I said, I don't work with many rescues and I don't work with many shelter systems. There's a reason for it. It's not ran properly.
Because
the same
yeah,
way that the prison system ain't fucking ran properly.
exactly. Yeah.
You take all of these motherfuckers that have a fucked up mind. It's mainly to do with your mind and everything that you've been through. Trauma, abuse, neglect. You know, like we abuse ourselves, we neglect ourselves because of trauma that we have caused. Whether it's with drugs, with violence, whatever it is. It's just all comes back to trauma, the brain and the mind, making you feel less of a person and everything that goes with it. There's no way that these dogs and these animals are going to thrive in a broken system. The same way that men and women that are incarcerated are just left for dead and judged because their life don't matter.
And that's a trip. Like when you said too, because like an arrest is made, you're dropped off to the prison system and just left. You know, there's no type of rehabilitation. There's nothing constructive going on there. And it's the same with rescue. Like you're not going to pick a dog up off the streets, drop it off the shelter and leave. Like you got to see it through. Like,
Yeah, well,
like how I
that's
see
the
you
problem,
do
that-
with
that-
these animals.
that- I just feel like the rescue community, like I said, everybody does it. A main part of the rescue nowadays is that they rescue for the story, to get the clout, to get the views, to get the donations. It's more about the rescue story than about the dog. You know, like there are amazing dogs sitting in shelters that nobody will help. That dog goes on a euthanasia list. All of a sudden, they have 5,000 people sharing that dog, and 4,000 people want to open their home to the dog. But meanwhile, nobody goes and gets that dog. Why does it have to get that big?
That reminds me of like Heidi. Like we used to get so many, like I would hundreds of messages. I would have took I'll take Heidi, but
Nope.
But what?
Showed up.
But
yeah, I would
but-
take Heidi, but
she
but-
was our longest resident.
you know, and like,
millions of views, like millions of people had
The
seen
dog,
her.
the dog had to go get a freaking photo shoot.
Yeah.
Put
a
in
photo
in
shoot, a
magazine.
professional fucking picture
Yeah.
gets the dog adopted.
And now I got
Why?
a famous dog. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and again, like I said, I support foster-based rescues. You know, like Zach runs a foster program. Carla and Erica, and you know, there are amazing foster groups out there that actually do the work. And when I say doing the work in foster means pick up your dogs and make sure that your dogs are okay. Make sure that the people that have your dogs in foster are taken care of. Make sure that if your dog, something happens to your dog in foster, there is no questions asked. This is the hospital that you bring my dog to. No questions asked. Okay? You stand beside your dog and you appreciate the family that opened up their home. There's way too many fosters out there. They don't even see their dogs. They get a dog brought. You have local dogs sitting in shelters and you're rescuing from down south. What is the problem? If you do no work, if you do zero work in your local areas, why the fuck are you bringing other dogs in from other areas? Worry about yours. You understand? The South has puppies. Big fucking deal. I got a lot of adult dogs that I rescue from New York. Hands on, they come into my house. No, My dogs come to me before they hit the shelter. I don't want my dogs to go into that shelter system. I'll take that burden on. People wait till dogs get seen, vetted, and neutered in order to consider taking that dog into safety.
Yeah.
I take that motherfucker right off the street. I don't know nothing about this fucking dog. We're going to figure it out.
Damn.
We're going to figure it out. You know, and at the end of the day, like I said, I do have respect for people that are in foster, that work with fosters, but I just have very little respect for the people out there that actually put the work in. And the reason why I can't respect it that much is because I don't see it that much. A professionally edited video or picture is not real.
Yeah.
Show us the dog's rehabilitation after being rescued. Show the people that this is the dog that came in and this is our dog now and he's available for adoption. Show them that I am the face of Pitbulls and Addicts and I'm the one who does this. Zach is the man of Molly Mutts and he's the one who does that. This is what we do. And guys like us have to struggle. I mean, I struggle a lot more than him, but he's years advanced. Like, you know, like we both came in this with the right thing. Zach was on his deathbed. I was on my death. We had no opportunities and we built our own. Using what works for us. And that's what we need to show people. Rescuing animals it's not easy. But way too many people want to think that they play rescue if they share a dog on social media.
Yeah.
Or they do this like, oh, you know, like, and again, it's nice that you're helping get their awareness, but what are you really doing for that animal? Open up your garage. Go get a crate. I tell people all the time, I can't take that dog right now, but if you want, I will personally come and bring you a crate, food, vetting, this. Oh no.
Yeah. What's the response?
I can't. Why?
I was in South Central, you know, I rescued Sebastian and got him foster and all that. Well, not rescue, but did some help with that. We get adopted. And I was walking around over there. It was around 5th Ave, 6th Ave, South Central, borderline Inglewood. And I'm like, people are stopping, like, man, where'd you get that dog? Like, that's a beautiful dog. Look at that pit. Like, he's built, he's chopped, ripped, and all that. And they're looking like, man, what breeder? I was like came from the shelter. But then another thing that goes to the social media platforms. They're like, man, you're a trainer? I'm like, yeah. Like, can I get some training? I was like, what, you don't see trainers around or you ain't getting anybody? Like, it's 2 things. They say the main thing is you see trainers on social media, but you don't see them in the hood because 1, they're too expensive. They can't be reasonable to the people that are there, not really serving the community. And 2, they're afraid to go there. But they can post and, oh, I'm woke, I'm this, I'm that, and all that type of stuff. But you're not really out there. Like Paul Squad Danny, you know, and Watts Project and all them, they really out there.
Really out there.
They're doing that.
Yeah, really out there.
Oh, you don't smoke?
Yeah.
The rescue world, like I said, it's just a lot of people. Like I just believe, like, you know, like my way of rescue is not often seen. I like to, you know, I seen everything I needed to see when I was just learning who I was, and knowing I was raised like. I call my mission now. I say that I got a family beside me. I don't say I got supporters. I don't say I built a family. You know what I'm saying? And I have realized, you know, the rescue world, it may be a little bit backwards and you know, like it may be something that I truly don't want to be. You know, the politics and the rules and regulations of rescue, it's like, where does this come from? You know, in rescue, my way of rescue is to take that dog out of harm's way and to create a future for that dog. So I do the best that I could do to learn everything about the dog that I can. Some dogs are adoptable. Some dogs will stay with me forever. And, you know, I try to set the dog up and also the human, because not every dog that goes home is that perfect dog. And if you have a human that understands it, now they create an opportunity for the dog. And what they're not even realizing is that it's actually the best thing that you've probably done with yourself for quite some time. You took on a problem and a challenge, and it's going to work for you. Trust me.
Wow.
You know, like I use my dogs to do this at Freedom Home, and that's the reason why I love what I do. You know, like I broken people come into me, and if they're there for the right reasons, they ain't broken for too long. Keeping them is a whole nother ball game. But I show them how to rise, and I show them what life's about. And I just use broken animals that have now rose above and live a certain which way. So my dogs bring that happiness, and my dogs bring that thankfulness, and my dogs, want to love you because that's what they're used to. And the dogs that come in, like a decompression and an adjustment doesn't last for too long because they just keep on looking around. These dogs that just come in there, they're like, what is this? Why are these dogs so happy? Why is this music playing? Why are the waterfalls playing? Why do they want to walk me? Why are these people feeding me?
Wow.
Why am I sleeping on again, we use fabric softener, we use dryer sheets. Like my dogs sleep as if they were sleeping in a home. So that's why I said that I built my own family, and there's a difference between a house and a home. And one thing in life that I did realize along this whole journey is that when I stopped really giving a fuck what anybody had to say, and I said, this is my life. The one thing that I told myself is that I no longer want to be a doormat for a home that I'm not welcome in. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between a house and a home. A house is somewhere where you just go, you come and you go. A home is built with love.
Right.
And that's how I started to really build this part of it. Like, where I have so many dogs that live with my dogs live with the same amount of love that every single buddy's home dog lived. My dogs that were all abused, neglected, defeated by a human, they all, while they're waiting for their forever homes, they all get that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
And how many dogs do you have at Pitbulls and Addicts right now?
A lot.
A lot. But as you said, each individual one is treated.
And again, like I said, I didn't think that it was going to skyrocket the way it did. But when I tell you that I rescued them about it, that's what I do. I've been building to accommodate my dogs. I've expanded every single which way. I make adjustments because you know what? Those dogs didn't do that to themselves. And what I did to myself, I said that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to rescue abused and neglected dogs, hands on. I could find 1 million dogs that need me. You understand? I could go right on the internet. I could be a hero and bring in 55 dogs from other, states or other shelters or dogs with this and that. Like,
but you'd be walking past dogs in your own area.
I get a phone call and I show up.
Yeah, no, I see.
And that's the reason why I don't respect a lot of rescue. I cannot stand when certain things surface the internet and they put somebody else's life at risk because they want to play hero.
Yeah.
They put out this sad story about, oh, this dog is tied up in this area, but this area is a known gang area. That dog is in the front yards of a gang member's house. You're now going to have a little white girl run up to that house and try to get that dog into safety. You're putting people in harm's way. If you're really about rescuing that dog, why the fuck are you posting on the internet? Why aren't you showing up about it? Why? So when something happens, and every single time it happens, they always tag in people. Like I said, I do show up. If I'm gonna go there, my approach is way different. I just broke an organized ring. I just did it because of the way I present myself. I'm not afraid to go and get a dog, but that dog needs to be abused. That dog must be neglected. Just because he's a pit bull tied up in front of a house that you don't like the people that live in the house, that doesn't mean that dog is in harm's way. Abuse and neglect is abuse and neglect. Worry about your damn self. But social media, they take a picture, they put it on, it goes fucking crazy because that's the story. You understand this, right?
Yeah.
The rescue story.
This is important right here.
You're putting somebody's life at risk. You go get this dog from the middle of Compton, and this guy, you're going to walk into his property, a little fucking rescuer that's never once been in any real situation. You're going to show up? They won't show up. So what do? They put a cry on social media, and then it's just nonstop. You know what I'm saying? Think about somebody that doesn't like the way that you treat your animal, right? And again, you know what abuse and neglect is. We're not going to, there's a fine line.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any grown-ass person could tell you that the dog, just because you become so soft nowadays, that's your opinion. An animal needs shelter, food, and water. That's it. Besides that, you can't say nothing. Animals are considered property, but because your opinion and you judge everybody, you don't like the way that a dog is taken care of. So therefore, you expose it like it's really a problem, and you're creating a fucking problem. A guy like me shows up. I show up. I went to a man's house that it was him and his wife. They had somebody who had it out for them. She kept on putting it out there. I show up. The guy's crying. They just lost their mom. Please stop bothering us. You know, because there's somebody in the community kept on walking by and heard a little barking dog barking behind it.
Or like people that have dogs at mechanic shops.
People that like, what? Why? The dog is dealing with people all day long. Who gives a fuck? I'll sleep in a tire.
He's met Onyx at the mechanic shop.
Yeah, fuck out of here.
You have all these people that show up. Hey, that dog, you know, I'll take that dog off your hand.
Yeah, and then do what with it? I'll take that dog and then do what with it?
Can we do this?
Oh, let's go put it. Let's just go put the dog in a cage and say that we saved the dog.
They see a bunch of Hispanic dudes, and they think, oh, the dog's unsafe in the mechanic shop and all this. Little do they know, this dog has 7 men that break their neck to play with this dog. I'm talking about, bro, they're bringing in full bone marrow, half-cut bones to feed the dog. Like,
but somebody's opinion,
up and down the street
but a person just walks by and like, oh.
Yeah. But somebody's opinion of that is that's what the world goes after. Rescue is rescue.
Like, look at the Dalmatian. What is the Dalmatian known for being?
Speaking of Dalmatians, that's
Firefighter.
Listen to me. That's how I broke that ring. I got a message, a picture of 4 Dalmatians, 3 Dalmatians and 2 puppies. I said, I'm on my way. I had no clue what the fuck I was doing with 5 dogs. My friends, they bought the house. There's a construction company. They went in there, they locked the door. Next thing you know, a guy shows up, he demands a puppy. He gives him a puppy. Calls me, I'm on my way. I get there. I called 2 different people to come with me. I get there, I come walking out. Now it's cold. It's cold out. And I pull up to the house and I see that there's a 6-foot+ guy, you know, nice build Jamaican. Now, you know a Jamaican 6-foot, 200+ man looks like. Okay? In a gray sweatsuit, sneakers tied. It's cold out too. His sneakers are tied. He's got a sweatsuit on, no jacket, standing there. Got another one next to him. Smaller guy, black. He's got a North Face jacket on with the high pockets and the hood. Okay, he's got the hood on like this, standing right next to him. As I walk up, now I have my friend Danny there, who's a Marine, the kid Vinny there, and the 2 workers that were there. So we had and there was females there too with them. So I pull up and I'm like, yo, what's up? I said, what's going on, everybody? I'm thinking that everybody's sitting there waiting for me to, what's up?
Yeah,
what's up?
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, these dogs don't need to be rescued. And I looked at him and I was like, what? What do you mean these dogs don't need to be rescued, bro? I said, do you see the living conditions these dogs are living in? You see this fucking house? What are you talking about? They don't need to be rescued.
You see this house?
He's like, nah. They don't need to be rescued. I said, all right. I said, let me break it down to you. I said, I'm not your normal rescuer. I said, listen, I rescue abuse and neglect. I said, I received a picture that there's dogs in there that need me. We're going to go through the door. You're going to come with me. And if those dogs need help, I'm going to help them. If you tell me that these dogs don't need rescuing, show me that there's healthy dogs behind that door. He's like, nah, my man just got locked up and, you know, they whatever. I said, I don't care about that. I'm not here to steal your dogs. If they're in good shape and they're your dogs, then be good. You're good. Just get them out of here. Like the house is sold. I said, but if not, I need the help. So he's like, yo, you could take all of them besides the 2 puppies. So I was like, so then the guy was like, yo, one of the puppies was picked up. Next thing you know, they're all on their phone. You took a fucking dog, blah, 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 blah. A crossover car, the crossover, like the little minivan car, comes flying up, no headlights on. Some guy hops out. Yo, give me the female. No, that was after we got the dogs out. So then he make a long story short, they're on the phone about the puppy. And they're like, yo, you got the dog, you know, whatever. And I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not, so there's only 1 puppy there. I said, like, he's like, yeah, he wants the puppy. This is his. I said, did you see your puppy? I said, your puppy is sick. He needs like immediate. He's like, nah. You know, like, I said, what are you going to do? You going to sell it? So he's like, I said, bro, I said, I cut you the deal for the 2 puppies, 2 for $5. I said, I'll give you $250. I said, what, you know, and he's like, nah, we just sold one on the street for $850. I said, I'll give you $250 and let me take this dog to the vet, bro. What do you think? You're just going to sell a sick dog? And he was like, nah. And the other dude was like, bro, he's a rescue, bro. Let this kid take this dog. The dog needs help.
Oh, his boy was telling him.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big one. You know, because I told him, like I said, at the end of the day, like, you open us up, we're all gonna bleed red. I don't give a fuck who you are. What, like, I'm here to rescue dogs. Like, and then he was like, yo, he's like, you know, if your approach was a little bit different, you wouldn't have been leaving with these. But he's like, yo, I respect you, man. He's like, you could have the dogs. So then we went in, and I was like, look how these dogs are living. Like, yo, I have a video of it. The most disgusting thing that I've ever been through. I pulled 3 Dalmatians and 1 puppy out. Rolly, who is one of my boys, he was born with inverted eyelids, so he just had the surgery to fix that. But all of the dogs, they're all thriving. They all were adopted, and you know, like, it's just really amazing to like be part of the Dalmatian. Like he just said, what a Dalmatian is, firemen and this and that. Like, I felt like I rescued a Disney movie, and now, like I said, Rolly will now work beside me on this mission. Rolly is a lover. Like, I'm raising him the right way to be like a companion dog. But because he has brown spots.
Yeah, that's what
he's a Liverpool.
He's like chocolate white.
Yeah.
Chocolate spot.
So his personality is cool, and it's like he comes from a story of abuse and neglect, and you know, like, it's just amazing on how the whole mission is coming together. But you know, like, at the end of the day, you talk about, like, you know, like, I got that call and I show up, so that just goes to show you what real rescue is. Like, you know, like, that I just think that social media people just want to throw it out there and pretend like they play part in rescue, and which is cool. If you think that that's rescuing, I mean, I don't know who might have judged you, but you ain't gonna stand next to me and say that you rescue when you never once went and took an animal out of harm's way.
And seen that animal from rescue to all the way, like, until they're thriving
I
life.
show up no matter what. Like I said, I you know, I don't ask no questions. If I say yes, I'm taking that dog. And that's what it's about. And that's what real rescue to me is. You take these dogs out of harm's way, and you do whatever it takes. And if they're not adoptable, if they're not adopted, then it is what it is. I built them their own safe haven. You know, June 6, 2017, I had $5,000 in a dream. I said I was going to build a place that if I was a rescue dog, how would I want to live? And I got
that's where you started Pitbulls and Addicts, $5,000 and an idea.
Yeah. I almost got evicted because of my dog.
That's
Aria.
That's $5,000 cheaper than what it took Master P to start No Limit. So you just imagine what he can do.
5,000 in a dream. And the dream was to build a place that if I was a rescue dog, how would I want to live?
And what is at Pitbulls and Addicts, what are you guys doing today?
Today we are internationally known. Today we are internationally known. We currently have, you know, well over 30 dogs in our care. We have Freedom Home has been a safe haven for over 1,000 dogs within the past 6 years. I've become a man of my community. I do a lot of work with schools. I do a lot of work with special needs. I do a lot of work with broken families. I try to guide as many addicts. I started to take a different approach dealing with addicts because I take the shit home with me. And your problems ain't my problems, and my problems ain't your problems. And if you can't respect that, then what's the point of us being together? You know, a lot of people think that, you know, they forget that I take the shit home with me. This is my lifestyle. I'm not just the guy who rescues dogs.
Yeah.
I'm a man on a mission. I got nothing. Like, I do this day to day. I don't got no corporation money behind me. I don't got no sponsors behind me. Everything you see is earned. And I don't do this with credit. I got no credit. But I have everything I need.
Cold hustler.
For real.
Strangest Fruit Podcast. We got Mike.
We in the
from
building,
Pitbulls and
New
Addicts
York.
in the building.
Yeah, but that's
Cold
what it is. I mean,
wow. That it's so crazy to see, like, you know, you see somebody now, you know, A1 shape, successful, like thriving in life. Just to hear the story.
success
Like,
is not a money.
yeah, exactly.
Success is who are you?
Yeah, for us,
Who
it's
are you?
exactly.
What can you offer? Like, take your money and shove it up your ass. Like, your money means nothing. Money means nothing. It's the person inside. Yeah, your looks mean nothing. Money could buy, looks.
Yeah.
That shit means nothing to me.
It's what's on the inside.
Inside.
Yeah. What's on the inside.
And I'm a firm believer that, change is possible. But I'm also a firm believer that you are definitely going to be judged by your actions. Like, who are you? Show me who you are. Don't tell me who you are. Show me. Your actions speak louder than words, and that's how I'm going to judge you.
Mm.
And that's how I operate nowadays.
Look at Cannoli coming just in time. Wow.
Cannoli.
We got our little. We got a baby Staffordshire Terrier in here.
Yeah, Cannoli, the Her Studio mascot.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is like I said, now I'm going to invite you guys down. Thank you for having me out here in Cali. You guys are, I feel like you guys need to come down to New York now. So
put my Timberlands on.
You need to chop this up. You need to make that something good, and then we need to just continue. You need to come back to me over at my hometown with some real questions, and let's continue to do the Strangest Fruit podcast and spread the word that, it don't matter about where you come from, and it don't matter about, what your story is. The only thing that matters is the story that you're going to write from the moment that you change your life to the moment that you hit this casket.
Yes,
We're all changed men, and people need to understand that, we're all fucked up. We live in a fucked up world, but you could still be a good person. And I feel like leading the right way and showing people that it is a good. It's not a bad thing to be a good person nowadays.
Right.
Like you guys know, like you guys have been through it. Outside, inside, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's like, we need men in this world to show people that there's no reason to act that way and go through the struggles or end up places that we've been. Or the struggles that we go through or that we went through and we still currently go through, because struggle is struggle. Life is full of struggles, and you just show these kids that, it's very important to start now and not go through what we went through to be who we are. If you look at guys like us and say, yo, those guys are awesome, like you could be awesome too.
Yeah.
Like those guys are, however they want to say about us, like we're cut from a different cloth, and it's mainly to do with a mental pain that a lot of people don't understand. Like we all went down a different road because of the choices to run away from our mental. So you talk about mental illness, I think that everybody has mental problems. It's how we approach them. I ran from mine. You ran from yours. He ran from his.
Now we run solutions.
Together.
Yeah, now we run it together towards solutions.
We run together and just show and show people that, like the world it's not full of racism and hate. Like we got drug addicts and felons, and we're out here putting the work in to make the difference and to spread the love and to show people like, yo, you can't speak about this because you didn't live this.
Exactly.
But if you listen to the ones, and I say like, yo, that's one of the main reasons that programs don't work. I mean, again, not all programs. There are programs out there that work, but a lot of programs are not ran by people that actually live that life. So how could you guide the people that are in those programs? You got that place because you got a fucking degree. And you're good at what you do. And again, you may be educated to cope with somebody and speak with somebody and get them, their mindset somewhere else. But do you really fucking understand them? No, because you never sat in their seat.
God, I have an example I want to use so bad.
Okay.
No,
plenty.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's been like
we didn't sat down
a storyline. Yeah,
we didn't been just frustrated, like, man, this, that. We know how to change this. We know how to go about this. We know how to go about that. And then we sat down with dudes that have been in, life in prison and got out. And we're like, is it me, or you notice that a lot of these major nonprofits or organizations or whatever you may be or call it, they don't have anybody that's a formerly incarcerated person as their board member.
Mm-mm.
How can you have something designed to help people in these situations if you have nobody that's never been in that situation?
How are you going to deal with
how you gonna tell a dog how to be a dog if you're a human?
Yeah.
Or how can a dog teach a human how to be a dog?
Exactly. All right. Our brother.
Fellas, we need to put this together.
Before we go, tell everybody how to reach you on social media platforms, any websites, all that, fitness tips, etc.
Just get it in.
Yeah.
Yo, I hated myself.
How do I
like
do one of those 6-packs?
Nah, listen, that's genetics, man. I do work out, but I'm definitely not disciplined. I'll be 40 in 2 days, like you guys know.
Happy birthday.
Damn.
You know, I'm gonna yeah, that's it. But listen, the truth of the matter is that I came out here to put my mind where it needs to be. It's a new decade for me, and again, like last decade, I was
Four times over.
I was a troubled man, you know what I'm saying, and a troubled boy throughout that decade, and I think that it's time to be a man in this decade. We need to realize that we don't live forever, and that, you know, the choices that I made in the past made me who I was, and the choices that I make today will make me who I am, and I'm gonna make the right choice. But the more importantly is like, you know, like I'm happy, and I'm at the point now where I have finally accepted everything that I've been through and everything that I thought that was gonna break me and everything that I miss. Like, you know, like losing my father was a big part of my life. I lost a lot, and you know, I'm okay. You
And the
know,
world's a
like,
better place because of you, for
And-
sure.
the truth is that I'm just okay, and I never thought that I'd be able to say this, but you know, I'm a happy man, and you know, I'm a proud man, and I'm proud to be the one that some people do listen to. You know, as a drug addict in recovery and everything that I've been through, and when people tell me like they let their kids watch my storylines, and the kids are like, "What's Big Mike up to?" You know, and they just these children are starting to follow me, and I go to schools and the troubled kids are standing right beside me. Why is this happening to me?
Because you're one of them.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
your
Like,
tribe, yeah.
and then and again, I'm also, like I said, I'm new to this. I didn't speak for something, you know, I was always embarrassed to speak. And now that I'm able to speak, it's a little bit different nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like now I'm happy to talk, but I'm still learning how to talk. You know what I'm saying? So like the more and more that I could speak about certain things is the more influential that will be. It's just a matter of putting the whole story together. So I was just asked to do career day, and here I am sitting next to, you know, they got state troopers and NYPD and FDNY and professors and bankers and this and that and a drug addict in recovery with a pit bull. It's just crazy on how this mission is coming together. So if you want to reach out to me, I use Instagram. I don't I cross post onto Facebook, but I'm not really a big Facebook guy, but everything I do is mainly through Instagram. And my website, which is, you know, my website is down. You could just get me on Instagram, Pitbulls and Addicts. And that's that.
We love you, bro. We
Love
thank
you
you.
too, bro.
I appreciate you
Appreciate
guys
you.
for having me.
Yeah.
All right, fam. We're going to dial it out of here. Before we go, please go check out the Dogs of Sayaka Shelter, South LA, South Central Shelter, Paul Squadini, Watts Projects. There's a lot of dogs that are being put to sleep in a very, seems like, downhill, uncontrollable manner. And we want to advocate for a lot of dogs in there. Please try to seek some type of assistance from a trainer to go and assess the dog so they can have the best life going forward and get some type of training. So, you know, this is Didontae from Strangest Fruit, dialing out with my bro, Free Bliss, Brian James.
We out.
All right.
Peace.
Hey, that was dope. Dope.
We're
I don't know, but that's
No, I
you gotta chop it up and you gotta come back to New York with
Yeah.
a whole list.
Even with
Okay.
Zach, we're do one with Zach. All you know, thank you never. Oh, we gonna take a picture?
Yeah.
right.
That's California.
All right. Well, is the tallest.
You like to team up with one. No, we don't.
All right.